Hey everyone, first off, thank you for being a TroyPoint patron or founding member. Your support means a lot to us, and we hope that you enjoy exclusive guides like this, many more to come in the upcoming days. I just got my new Fire TV Stick 4K Max yesterday, and this will be the first time that I use it, and I'm happy that you are coming along with me on the ride. I'm not going to be going through the advertised features, as I've already written about those, and I will link to that below this video. My main purpose of this video is to ensure that specific things are still working, such as side-loading apps, expanding internal storage, connecting an Ethernet adapter, using mouse toggle, and things like that. I will also look for things that are different from the last Fire TV Stick 4K Max and comment on those as well. I'm going to connect an OTG cable to my new Fire Stick so I can test expanding internal storage with a USB drive. And I also want to see if the Ugreen Ethernet Gigabit USB adapter works on the new device as well. Lots to cover in this video, so let's get connected to the TV and get going. All right, guys, I've got the Fire TV Stick 4K Max connected to my TV. Now I'm going to plug it into the power outlet. There we get the Fire TV logo. Tap the home button to pair. Press the play button to start. I'm going to choose English. More than likely there will be updates, and there it is, downloading the latest version. Fire TV Stick 4K Max has restarted and is now applying the updates. Okay, it looks like the Fire TV Stick is rebooting again. Okay, the updates have been applied, and in looking at my clock, it looks like that took approximately 7 minutes to apply all of the necessary updates. I'm going to click continue. Now this was already registered to my Amazon account because I had the option of doing that when ordering it through Amazon.com, so I don't have to go through and input my login information for Amazon. It's asking, do I want to restore? I don't want to restore. I want to start fresh with this. Now it looks like we're going to go through the remote setup so it can control my television. I'm using an LG. Okay, it says to turn up the volume on my TV, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make sure the volume is up. I'm going to click next. Me using the volume rocker, it did control the volume on my TV, so that worked. I'm going to go ahead and click yes. Fire TV remote is now successfully set up. Okay. I like that. Very streamlined. In the past, it seems like we had to go through multiple steps to do that. You know, you had to pair the power button, the up and down volume buttons. Looks like just that there takes care of everything, and then everything will be paired to the TV. I'm going to skip that. I'm not going to install any streaming services from the start. Again, I want to start off as bare bones as possible. No parental controls. Got it. And now we are into the new Fire TV Stick 4K Max. Looks like the same layout as we are accustomed to on the old one. Again, it's important to point out that these new Fire TV sticks are running Fire OS 8. Just going to hover over settings here to see if anything has changed in this area. Again, everything looks very similar. The first thing I'm going to do is install the free downloader application. Okay, that's done. I'm going to click my back button. I also want to install Analyty because I am going to do some speed tests. Analyty has been installed. I'm going to go back to the home screen. Hover over the gear icon, move down. I need to go into my Fire TV. We need to turn on developer options. You're going to notice since this is a new Fire TV stick, developer options isn't listed here. I'm going to go into about, highlight the name of my Fire TV. Oh, looks like it's applying some more updates here. Okay, highlight the name of my Fire TV, and I'm going to click this 7 times. It says you're now a developer. Go back. There it is. So far we've seen nothing has changed in regards to developer options. I am going to turn on ADB debugging because I will be trying to use mouse toggle, and we need to do that for that application. Install unknown apps. I'm going to turn on unknown apps for downloader. Back to the home screen. I'm going to go into the screen that shows all of the apps. And I'm going to move downloader to the front of the list like we normally would. Highlight it, hold down on the OK button for a few seconds. I'm going to put that right there at the front of the list. That works as it should. I'm going to open downloader. Click allow, click OK. Up button. OK button to open the keyboard. 2509131 to open the TroyPoint toolbox. Okay, I'm going to hold down on the OK button of my remote for a few seconds. Add current page to favorites. I will be using this on a regular basis. Move over to favorites, make sure it's added. There it is. Now I don't have to wait for the load screen. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, and on this page, I'm only installing 3 applications at this time. And again, this is just an overview just to see how things are working. I'm preparing to do my Fire TV Stick 4K Max review. First, I want to get Surfshark VPN. Now, there is an update to Surfshark. It's now version 3.2. Very important. I came out with a video a couple weeks ago on how to get the most recent stable release, and I showed that all you have to do is go through the installation process to update. But this new 3.2 version, if you are using an existing Fire TV stick and you're trying to get that new 3.2 version, you have to completely uninstall 3.1 and then go through the installation process with the download link in the toolbox that is pointing to 3.2. Okay, I'm going to click install. This install screen does look a little bit different on Fire OS 7, so that is a little bit of a change here. Usually we get that generic white Android looking screen. App installed. I'm going to click done. Delete the installation file. I'm going to install Kodi 20.2. Done with that. Delete and delete again. You know, whenever they come out with new Fire TV models, I always laugh because people are always saying, I hope that we can still sideload applications. It's important to point out that I doubt that they're ever going to get rid of that because developers need the opportunity to test their applications. That's the main reason those developer options exist. It's for developers to be able to test their apps before putting them into the official App Store. I highly doubt that that will ever go away. Okay, now I'm looking for mouse toggle. And right here. Seems like a lot of people have a problem with this app. You need to read this note right here. If 1.12, the new version, doesn't work, get 1.06. So we'll first start with the new version. Delete for that one as well. Okay, I'm done with the TroyPoint toolbox. I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to move some apps around here. Oh, we got problems right there. Missing shortcuts. We saw this in, I believe this first reared its ugly head in Fire OS 6 when the Fire TV, it might have been Fire OS 7 when the second generation Fire TV Cube was released, and here we are again. Now, if you want to see what these shortcuts are, you can highlight one, hit the hamburger menu icon on the remote, click uninstall. We're not uninstalling it, but it'll show you there at least what the application is. And this is Kodi. I'm going to click cancel. And then obviously this is going to be mouse toggle. I'm not going to move mouse toggle onto the main row or onto the front screen because once I set this up, I don't need to go into it anymore because it auto starts. But since we're here, let's just go ahead and configure mouse toggle. I'm going to launch that. Let's see if this works. Bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see where it says status. And we always get that, error P1. I'm going to double click the play pause button on my remote. See if it works. Right now, it's not working. Okay, so now I'm going to disable mouse toggle, move back up, re-enable it. Want to make sure that start the mouse service on device startup is enabled as well. Let's try double clicking the play pause button again. Still not working. I'm going to go into ADB settings. Let's turn that off and then on again. Go back, double click play pause. Let's try this one more time. Move up, re-enable it. Okay, still not working. So that tells me we're going to need to install 1.06. So I'm going to go back. Now, one thing I will do is move this to the main row. I'm going to put this right behind downloader, and I'm just going to have to remember that this is Kodi. Very sad to see that these empty icons are showing. I'm sure there will be an update in the future, but who knows how long that's going to take. Now, first, I want to go back. Now, I am going to move down, highlight mouse toggle. We need to get rid of that. I'm going to click the hamburger icon menu button on my remote, uninstall. Okay, that's gone. And now I want to go back into downloader. We'll try 1.06 now. Delete the installation file. I'm going to move up. Now, you can also set up a third-party launcher with these devices. I'm not going to dive into that because there's been so much of a cat and mouse game with that. I don't suggest doing that because the latest version, you have to turn off your Amazon Fire TV updates, and that could cause a security problem. But what I like doing is installing Sideload Launcher instead. Back to the home screen. And you're going to see here, we got to figure out which one is Sideload Launcher. So I'm assuming it's this one right here, Sideload Launcher. So what I'm going to do is move this one to the top row, and I'm just going to put it at the end. That's where I like putting this one. So we know we have Kodi here, Sideload Launcher here. Obviously, I want to move Surfshark as well. Put that as the first shortcut. Analyty will go up here. And that just pushed this one down. So let's put that back. I think that will do it for now. Let's go back into mouse toggle. Let's see if we can get that going. Okay, it says this app was built for an older version of Android and may not work. Okay. This is good, we're seeing this. You must click Always Allow from this computer. Click Allow. Bottom left corner, let's watch the status indicator. Okay, it says starting. And again, in the past, I've seen that as well, where it just always says starting. Let's double click the play pause button. Nothing. I'm going to disable mouse service, re-enable it, and it is still not working. Go into ADB settings. And that button doesn't work either. All right. I'm going to have to test some different versions of mouse toggle. I do know that some people have said that on the newer Fire TV sticks, they were having some luck with 1.11, I believe. But I will look into that and we'll push out an update in tomorrow's TroyPoint Advisor if we can figure this out. But as of now, mouse toggle is not working, which is sad to see. Okay, I'm going to back out of this. Let's go ahead and launch Kodi. Let's make sure that that one is working. Continue. Allow for all of those. And everything loads the way it should. Now, one thing I will say is everything seems very snappy in this system. There's no lag whatsoever going between screens or going between shortcuts. I am going to go ahead and log into my Surfshark VPN account right now. I really like how Surfshark makes this easy by hitting the login button. I'm already logged in on my PC, so I can easily just go into the app on my PC, go to settings, account, and then enter that login code. Just quicker than typing username and password. Okay, it says successful, and it has loaded. Okay, I'm not going to connect just yet because we want to do some speed tests here in a little bit. But before we do that, I want to test expanding internal storage on this device. Now, give me a second. I'm going to open the Rufus software on my PC and format my SanDisk 64 gigabyte drive as FAT32, just so we don't have any problems with the format. Okay, it's been formatted. I'm going to go ahead and insert my USB drive into the OTG cable that I connected right after I unboxed the new Fire TV Stick 4K Max. Okay, I just plugged it in, bottom right-hand corner, limited device access. Fire TV cannot access apps on this device. Okay, I'm going to go into settings, my Fire TV. I'm going to go into the USB drive, and it is giving us the opportunity to format to internal storage. And for those of you that don't know what this is, this allows us to install applications onto this device. Now, I should point out, this might not be needed anymore because this, as you can see, comes with 16 gigabytes. Now, after installing just a few apps, you can see we have almost 13 gigabytes left. So that should be quite a bit of space to install most applications that people need. So hopefully, with this device, because of the 16 gigabyte internal storage, we don't have to go through expanding internal storage. Now you'll notice there's also an update here. I'll get to that here in a little bit. I first want to try expanding the internal storage. So I'm going to go into USB drive again, format to internal storage. And again, this is a 64 gigabyte SanDisk drive. I don't really like going any higher than that. It seems like the higher or the bigger drives sometimes cause problems. I think a lot of it comes down to the power adapter on the Fire Stick. Not powerful enough to handle some of these larger drives. Formatting complete. Back button. Now I'm going to go back into USB drive, and there's a section here for manage installed applications. And we can show what's on the USB drive only. If I click that, obviously there's nothing on there right now. I can choose all applications. And now it's very important to point out something about how Amazon deals with these applications. If the application does not support external storage and you installed it through the Amazon App Store, you can't move it. Here's a good example. I'm going to go into Analytics, and you're going to see there's no way for me to move this app over to external storage. That's because Analytics doesn't declare support for external storage. This is another reason I like Android TV, Google TV. We can go into developer options on those systems and tell it to force all apps to external. So even if they don't declare support, we can still move them. We can't do that on the Fire TV devices. Now, there is a workaround. I will release a video within the next coming days for expanding storage on these new devices, but it's just very cumbersome to say the least. I don't suggest using external storage in this fashion on these devices if you don't have to. Now, you will see If we go into Kodi, it gives us the option to move to USB storage. And you'll see here, this one here, sideload launcher, you can't move it either. So that means that these applications don't declare support for external storage. Now, if we had already had the external storage set up like we do, and then sideload the applications over, anything that we sideload will be added to the USB drive. And I'll show that right now. I'm going to go back to the home screen, launch Downloader, and I'm going to go ahead and install MX Player Pro. Now, since I am sideloading this, it should just automatically be placed on the USB drive. Done. Delete and delete. Back to the home screen. Now, one thing I forgot to show you was how Sideload Launcher works. The reason I put it close to the icon that takes us to all of the applications on the device is because this pretty much does the same thing, but it shows us all of the applications, even the sideloaded ones that show as empty shortcuts on the Fire Stick. So you can come in here and launch the applications as well, and you'll notice when you hover over the shortcuts on the bottom, it tells you exactly what the application is. Okay, into settings, back into my Fire TV, USB drive, manage installed applications, and it's set as showing USB only, and you're going to see MX Player. That's the only one that's on the USB drive, and it has a little icon next to it, looks like a USB connection. So if I click this, I now have the opportunity to move it back to internal storage, which I do want to do anyway because I want to disconnect the USB drive so we can move on to the next step of this first impressions video. And it moved successfully. Now let me go back into USB drive, and I want to now format this back to external storage. There's a difference. We have it set up as expanding internal storage where you can install apps onto it. Now I want to go back to where it's just storage and you can't install apps. Let's make sure that that's working as well. Now, if you do this, you want to do what I did in the previous step. Move the applications that you had on the USB drive back over to internal storage before doing this, or this is going to cause a problem. It's going to delete all of your applications that were on there, more than likely. And we're back to where we were. You'll see limited device, and then I click the menu button, and it just gives us a description on what's going on there. No, we don't. Right now, we just want this as storage. Okay, back to the home screen. I am going to unplug the USB drive from the OTG cable. And now I'm going to plug in my Ugreen Gigabit USB adapter. And the main thing I want to do here is see if connecting Ethernet works on this. Right when I did that, the device reboots, and it did that on the older model as well. So there's no change there. Every time I connected that to the previous Fire TV Stick 4K Max, it did the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and plug my Ethernet cord into the RJ45 port on the Ugreen adapter. Okay, that's connected. Now, let's go into, okay, there's an update. It's for the Amazon Fire TV remote. It says not to press any buttons when it's updating. Update completed. Okay, let's go into the gear icon. I want to go into network and see if this has connected properly. And that's great to see it has. You can see there it says Ethernet configuration connected. All right, back to the home screen. Let's go ahead and test the speed. Now, we're probably going to get better download and upload speeds with the Wi-Fi connection because that chip in there, the new Wi-Fi 6E support, and even on the previous Fire TV Stick 4K Max, was better than the Ethernet connection. But some people want that consistent, reliable connection. That's why they use these, or they're just not close enough to their router to get a good signal going through Wi-Fi. But you'll see here, it is working. We're getting 305 megabits per second. The most you're going to get with this type of setup is 300 to 400 megabits per second. People question why they can't get 1 gigabit because it's a gigabit adapter. It's because of the USB connection going into the OTG cable, which slows it down. But that is working the way it should. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unplug the Ugreen gigabit adapter. I want to go back into network, and I'm going to make sure that I connect to my Wi-Fi 6 router. Okay, I'm going to open Analyty again. Very good speeds, and again, like I thought would happen, we're getting better speeds going through Wi-Fi than we do with the Ethernet adapter. One thing I will mention, I'm not seeing any speed increase as far as comparing this to the previous Fire TV Stick 4K Max. It's about the same. Now, just because I don't get better speeds with the new Wi-Fi 6E feature doesn't mean that's going to be the case for you. All networks are different. You might get a better speed, but people get too tied up on this speed. When we're streaming, guys, we don't need that much speed. You'll see that table there. 8K probably requires 40 to 50 megabits per second. 4K requires 20 to 30. Anything higher than that is overkill unless you're downloading media items or anything else, pictures, whatever, to your Fire Stick, and you want to download those quickly. Having this high download speed doesn't do anything for you, so do not get hung up on this download speed stuff. When you're streaming, it doesn't do anything for you. And the last thing I want to do is go into settings, My Fire TV, about, and I want to install this update. And the reason I want to do this, I want to see maybe they've already fixed the empty shortcuts for the side-loaded apps. Now, while we're waiting for this, the one thing I really like about Android TV, Google TV, is that they do let you use third-party launchers, and it works perfectly. But there's no way Amazon is going to allow for that. They've really clamped down on that. Even when there's workarounds that are released, they're usually pretty quick to patch those holes. Okay, let's click check for updates again. It looks like we are now on the latest version. Go back, and we're still seeing these empty shortcuts. So if you have ordered one of these new Fire TV devices, I suggest installing sideload launcher, as you can see here, which will allow you to see all those side-loaded apps that we can't see normally through the Fire TV interface. As I mentioned earlier, the system does seem very snappy. I don't see a huge difference between this and the original Fire TV Stick 4K Max. The additional internal storage, 16 gigabytes, that's been a huge complaint for a long time. And I guess we just got to hope that this empty shortcut thing here gets fixed. Mouse toggle isn't working. And those kinds of things are expected whenever going up a level as far as Fire OS. I'm sure that there will be workarounds figured out for those things. But if you are someone who uses applications not suitable for the TV and you use mouse toggle, hopefully we can figure that out quickly and get you a workaround. All in all, like I said, guys, I've moved on. I'm no longer using Fire TV devices as my main driver. I'm completely into the Android TV, Google TV operating system, mainly using NVIDIA Shield Buzz TV and the ON 4K streaming box from Walmart. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Also, a huge thanks goes out to those of you patrons and founding members who have supported TroyPoint by your generous donations. It means a lot to us. There will be much more exclusive content coming to this platform, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled. As always, have an awesome day, and thanks for following TroyPoint.